All right, it's time to go hunting for the cartel. Well, I want no smoke from the cartel, but a deer hunter smoked the cartel in 2010. So, hey, listen, sometimes when you're trying to kill Bambi, sometimes when you got to regulate on Bambi, you got to get ready to tell Bambi to step aside because it's cartel hunting season time. So look out, Heisenberg. There's a new player in town called a deer hunter from Popo Medic. Let's go. A Ghostbusters in a 3, 2, and an Uno.
Sunday, November 14th, 2010. Deep in the countryside of southern Mexico.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's in Mexico.
A lone and humble rancher quickly finds himself the target of one of Mexico's most barbaric cartels the world has ever seen, after being confronted by a convoy of sicarios, demanding he surrender his family ranch to the cartel. But little did they...
Motherfuckers. Come on. Hey, you know what he... Oof. Never mind.
No, this humble rancher had a secret of his own, leading to a dramatic 4-hour siege as he defended his property and dared the men to come and take it.
That's right, he said, "Como estas, pendejos?" And one of them was shot, he would say, or he's either dying and bleeding out, he would say, "¿Qué pasó, cabrón?" You learned that here from Kit Cabello from Americans Learns.
In 2010, Mexico was engulfed in a violent and brutal conflict and was considered the peak of the Mexican drug war, as cartel-related violence dramatically escalated following the aggressive anti-drug cartel campaign initiated by President Felipe Calderon, as thousands of federal troops and police officers deployed throughout the country in an effort to dismantle the powerful drug trafficking organizations that had come to dominate large swaths of the country. And the response from the cartel was not great.
Oh, Jesus. I got a hand.
Immediately, cartel violence surged throughout the country, both against the law, themselves, and civilians, as cities like Ciudad Juarez became battlegrounds as the Sinaloa cartel fought for control against the Juarez cartel, resulting in the deaths of thousands. And during this war, Los Zetas quickly gained a reputation for brutality, employing tactics such as mass kidnappings, assassinations, and public displays of violence to intimidate both rivals, police, and the general populace. Their split from the Gulf Cartel ignited fierce battles in northeastern Mexico, particularly in the state of Tamaulipas. This specific rivalry contributed significantly to the overall violence in the region, such as the mass kidnapping of 72 Central American migrants by Los Zetas in San Fernando in August of 2010, where the migrants were offered an ultimatum: join the cartel's ranks or face execution. When they refused, Los Zetas brutally massacred all 72 migrants, causing the Mexican government to attempt to crack down even harder by dismantling their criminal networks and raiding their compounds. However, the opposite effect would often happen. High-profile arrests and military operations created power vacuums that incited further violence as emerging leaders and rival factions fought to fill the void, and the human toll was staggering, with tens of thousands of lives lost and many more affected by the pervasive violence and instability. Communities were torn apart, with many people forced to flee their homes to escape the violence. But those fortunate enough to live in remote areas were largely spared. That is until November 12th of 2010, as Tamaulipas native Alejo Garza Tamez noticed increased traffic of large vehicle convoys from the road outside of his rural and modest ranch.
Oh, homie, look out.
Given the fact that the vehicles in the convoy were largely made up of 4x4 Toyotas, that was pretty much all Alejo needed to know. Over the following day, Alejo kept his eyes open and his ears to the wall as dozens more pickups suspiciously drove by his property, and some even coming to a stop. While working on his ranch, Alejo took a break and stared back, and as he approached the driver, the vehicle sped off. On the following day, on November 13th, the vehicles would approach again, but this time, 10 sicarios of Los Zetas cartel would knock on Alejo's front door. But before he opens the door, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Aura. In today's world, Data brokers hold information on over 500 million people, each with thousands of data points. This $319 billion industry is rapidly growing and with little regulation. With data breaches and cybersecurity threats on the rise, it's hard to really know how secure your information is. But with Aura, you'll feel confident that your information is secure because Aura does it all in one convenient place and works around the clock to protect and keep your data and personal information away from data leaks and data brokers. And by automatically opting out of data broker lists, Aura has significantly reduced the number of robocalls that I receive, giving me a peace of mind and helping secure my information. But that's not all they do. Aura provides comprehensive protection that includes antivirus software, a VPN for secure browsing, secure password management, identity theft insurance, and even credit monitoring, all in one single app. You don't need to manage multiple subscriptions to multiple apps on your phone. Aura consolidates everything you need into one convenient platform, saving you time, money, and storage. If you'd like to stick it to robocallers and protect your information, I highly recommend checking out Aura. They're even
Protect yourselves. Oh, that came out wrong. Protect yourselves at all time.
offering you guys a 2-week free trial. Simply go to aura.com/popomedic or click the link in the description and protect you and your family's information today. As Alejo opened the front door, the Sicarios claimed to be businessmen looking to obtain Alejo's property. But Alejo called him out on their shit, citing they only wanted his property to use it for their drug operations. Alejo's workers stood in disbelief as Alejo took it even one step further and kicked the Sicarios out of his home. They laughed off the 77-year-old rancher and stated they would be back, and he would have 24 hours to either surrender his ranch or they could come and take it. Alejo nodded and said, "Come and take it."
He said, "Como estas, pendejos?"
And on the morning of November 14th, Alejo dismissed his workers, sending them packing through his west pasture. He then monitored the area from an overlook until he spotted an incoming van leading 2 pickups toward his ranch. Los Zetas, confident in their numbers and firepower, expected an easy morning, but what they didn't know was the ranch was a hunting ranch, and Alejo was a legendary sharpshooter, hunter, and cowboy who his friends notoriously dubbed Don Alejo, a man of
The Down.
principle, honor, and most important, a man with a reputation whose word is as good as a contract. And as 20 heavily armed Sicarios engulfed his fence line, negotiations resumed, with the Sicarios demanding he can either vacate or die. Don Alejo, a man of his word, refused again. Growing frustrated, a Sicario at the front of the pack raised his rifle and fired a single shot near Don Alejo's feet, shouting, "Consider it a warning shot." Don Alejo quickly raised his pistol and instantly killed that guy and another guy. Oh, a warning shot. Okay, well.
Hey, warning shots are for pussies, man. Nah. You blast away. Shoot to kill.
Here's a real shot. Don Alejo retreated back inside his home as the remaining cartel members froze in disbelief. While inside, he retrieved his hunting rifles and carefully placed them next to each window, where he opened fire again, sending the Sicarios scattering all throughout his property. But soon enough, the Sicarios would draw near and breach his fence line. And although accurate, Don Alejo's limited bolt action would quickly become overpowered by a barrage of automatic gunfire, causing him to frequently shift positions, moving from rifle to rifle and using his knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver the gunmen and focus his fire on the big hitters. Then, 2 Sicarios ran straight for his front door.
No.
And as they entered inside, Don Alejo, expecting them, hid in the corner of his center-fed living room with a 12-gauge shotgun and turned them into pico de gallo.
¿Cómo estás, pendejos? ¿Qué pasa, cabrones?
Enraged and pinned down by gunfire, cartel members outside began hurling grenades toward his home. But Don Alejo managed to steer clear of the impacts, as he was frequently moving to different windows and fighting positions, causing some Sicarios to even shut down completely and remain in a hiding spot, causing the gunfire to carry on for over 4 hours with periodic lulls and bursts of gunfire from Don Alejo. Eventually, fearing the police or military were likely on their way, The remaining sicarios fled, and Don Alejo sent rounds their way until they were no longer in sight.
Yeah, fuck off, cartel. I don't want no smoke.
On the following day, the Mexican military arrived to find Don Alejo's home nearly destroyed by bullet holes and explosives. Upon their arrival, 4 dead cartel members were discovered on Don Alejo's property.
That means 6 got away? Aw.
And Don Alejo was found in his bathroom with his rifle facing the door, unresponsive, as he succumbed to many gunshot wounds overnight. In the wake of Don Alejo's heroic standoff against Los Zetas, the story of his bravery spread quickly among locals and across social media. However, the expected mainstream media coverage of such a dramatic and inspiring event was unsurprisingly sparse, as Los Zetas had a grip over major media outlets.
Fucking pussies. Oh, what? Hey, cartel, you got smacked around by an old man who told you to fuck off.
Within the region. But despite their attempts to silence the story, the Millennial News Channel broadcast the story on social media, causing it to go viral, and it was picked up worldwide. Don Alejo is revered in Mexico with the same level of prestige as Wyatt Earp is in the United States.
Rest in peace, brother. That's right. Rest in peace. Don Alejo, I salute you, man.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more mini docs in the works, and you don't want to miss them. And be sure to check me out over on Instagram as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
All right, great work from Popo Medic. First of all, I think that's pretty cool about Don Alejo, the deer hunter who went hunting for cartel. Scared 6 little punks and took out 4 scumbags, so he's a braver man than me, I'll give him that, man. Nothing but saluting and nothing but love for him. And may his memory live forever. Evil must be opposed. Evil must always be opposed. Because what kind of world do we want to live in where such evil can be allowed to exist? No. Don, the real Don, show what it means to be a Don. That's why he's immortal. He can never die. So, be a man of honor, integrity, and principle. Protect your home, your family, your property, and your rights. Never let anybody walk all over you. Seize the day, win the day. All the time.